Did you ever hear a record under unusual circumstances that really allowed it to seep into your consciousness? That happened to me with For Earth Below by Robin Trower, the first time I heard it. It was during the blizzard of 78. I believe it was 78. A huge blizzard in the Northeast. I was snowed in at a friend's house, and we were looking outside, and the snow was piling up to your waist high. The trees were all thickly tufted with snow. It was just otherworldly outside. But what was happening inside was otherworldly too. We were in a psychedelic state. And it was in that state that I first heard Robin Trower's For Earth Below. He put it on, and I was immediately drawn into this record like no other. Of course, I was familiar with the predecessor, Bridge of Sighs. All my friends were listening to it, and we loved it. To me, at times, I felt like this record is even better. A lot of people would disagree, I know. Bridge of Sighs is universally acclaimed as the pinnacle of that early trio. But I guess the situation in which I heard For Earth Below really cemented it in my DNA, and I've always loved the record. I covered the first two releases in the 50th anniversary series already. So the first one is for Twice Removed from Yesterday. So you can check out that review if you like. And the second one, I finally got to talk about Bridge of Sighs, and that has its 50th anniversary review as well. Now I finally get to talk about this record. A couple of things about the differences between these first two records and this one. The first two were recorded in England at Air Studios, and the engineer was Jeff Emmerich. They were on tour promoting Bridge of Sighs. It was doing very well in the United States. It really was a hit. And they were writing for this album as well. So a lot of the songs could be interchangeable between the two albums. They came from the same period. But this record has a little bit different sound than the two that preceded it. Bridge of Sighs and Twice Removed from Yesterday have a little bit more atmospheric sound to them. Very dreamy and beautiful. This record is a little more hard driving, harder rocking, a little more concise and driving. It still has touches of that dreamy soundscape in a couple of cuts, but the focus is more on raw rock and blues with a little touch of psychedelia here and there. Of course, Robin Trower's guitar tone is always going to convey that psychedelic hangover sort of from the Hendrix era and so forth. But he is his own unique artist, and the way he plays on these three records is just amazing and unique. There is a change in personnel here too. The drummer on the original two records was Reg Isidore. For this record, Robin says in these liner notes that he wanted the American drum sound, or a little bit different drum sound. So they employed Bill Lorden as the drummer on this. And you can tell the difference to an extent. I still consider these three part of a trilogy. They all sound very similar. And if you love the first two albums, you'll certainly love to hear this. And one of the reasons that I love the early Robin Trower albums is not only Robin Trower's fantastic guitar work, it's James Dewar, the bassist and vocalist, particularly because of his vocals. I've talked about this so many times on the channel already, but I'm going to go over it again because it is so important to me. James Dewar is a vocalist that has no equal. When Jimmy passed away, Robin Trower continued on, and he's still continuing today, but it's very, very difficult to capture what James Dewar was able to provide in vocals with any other vocalist. I don't care who it is. It could be Paul Rogers or, you know, some famous vocalist that has that similar bluesy, gravelly type of voice, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. And Robin Trower fans know this, and I'm sure Robin Trower himself knows this. There's a magic that this trio had, whether the drummer be Reg Isidore or the new drummer. It's really about Robin Trower and James Dewar. James Dewar has something that affects me emotionally each time I hear him sing. I don't know. It's a little hard for me to describe. At face value, it's earthy, bluesy, kind of a whiskey, so gravelly type of voice, very masculine, but also very touching and emotional. He can sing a ballad with the most feeling that I've heard from any vocalist. I hear him sing and I picture him standing stoically on the stage. He's playing the bass at the same time he's singing. And what comes out of his mouth is so amazing. That's what makes the record special for me. On this album, we are treated to several standout tracks. Let's go through them quickly. It opens with a powerful number that tells you that this is going to be a little bit different, a little more concise and rocking. And it's called Shame the Devil. Fabulous guitar work and vocal quality on that. It's Only Money, dreamy, a little more psychedelia, very, very pretty. Confessin' Midnight is another hard rockin' number. Boy, Jimmy can sing that song. And that beautiful song, It's a Fine Day. Wow. I love that song. Alethea, another standout that they performed in concert many, many times. Gonna Be More Suspicious, heavy, rocking, and For Earth Below that closes the album. Very dreamy. It reminds me of Bridge of Sighs or some of the beautiful, stretched out, dreamy ballads that this team was so good at. So you do get a feeling of some of the touches that were on Bridge of Sighs in For Earth Below, but a stronger, more powerful kind of statement. The 50th anniversary edition. Well, this series has been a little bit head-scratching. The first one came out twice removed from yesterday, and it had a remaster of the original mix, which was great. It was nice to hear. And some scraps of things on the second disc. So a little bit of live material, a couple of outtakes, and so forth. I thought that would be the template going forward. But then Bridge of Sighs came out, and I was like, there's no original mix on this one. So there was no remastered original mix. Instead, they did a stereo remix for the first disc and live material for the second. So a little different than the first one. This third one is different again. There is an original mix, which was nice. I'm glad to have that there, remastered. And there is a second disc that is a stereo remix. So there's no live material on this one. The package is really beautiful. Really, it's the best this release has ever looked. It is a nice matte finish jacket with beautiful reproduction of the iconic artwork. Looks great. I love the centerfold. There's James there. And Robin making all those faces. I got to see them once, and it was fabulous, from what I can remember. There he is. There's a wonderful essay in here as well. 2 cardstock inner sleeves, tape boxes. It is a apparently a digital half-speed remaster, so it is not all analog from the tapes, even though we do see the tapes here. I think it was done from a fresh transfer of the tapes. To put this very briefly, these remasters are a celebration of the album, and they're very welcome. However, audiophiles are not going to find anything here that is going to pique their ear. You know, it's not like they've really been able to bring out that much more from these recordings. So sometimes I think they are what they are, but I always dream that there could be a better quality mastering of these original mixes. So there's no surprises really there. It's competent sound, it's good. There's nothing really different than the previous edition that I have, which is Friday Music's. In the case of Twice Removed from Yesterday, I had an original, and I could tell the difference there. So original UK pressings and original American pressings may sound better than what I have here. The remix disc doesn't really offer any new insights. There are some minor things like an extra guitar lick here, an extended outro, a breakdown rather than a fade out, things like that. Really no new revelations. There's no, I think most of the vocal tracks are pretty much the same. It sounds pretty much like the record has always sounded, with these little additions here and there. So nothing really compelling there either. But it is nice to have the remix as well. I think I can get more out of it. But really, to me, the original mix is the one that is in here, and it sounds good enough there. I can't tell you how it compares to the UK pressing or the original American pressing. I no longer have mine. But if you've never been exposed to this album, it might be a nice way to try it. It's about $34, I think, retail. So a nice package, well pressed, well presented. The discs look like this. So they have a nice custom label as well. So all in all, I think if you have been enjoying the 50th anniversary series, you certainly would like to get this one as well. You won't be disappointed. It's about the same quality across all three of these releases. So there's nothing really to report there, but I really do feel like this catalog deserves a little bit more love than they're getting here. Yes, it's a big celebration, but for audiophiles or people that are looking for a sound quality upgrade, I don't think you'll find it here in particular. Those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Has any album buried itself into your psyche like this one did to me? I can think of one other one, and I've mentioned it before on the channel. I won't mention it again here, but until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.